Hi there, I'm natekokernot. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to bring back one of the basic premises that most of us don't believe, at least not entirely as of yet, and it explains a lot about emotion and help us to navigate emotion with grace were it to be believed. Here's another thing, and I know this may seem like a bold statement, but I feel certain that it's true. All of our minds are connected as one mind. The fact that this is not true is not a fact, in fact, but a wish. And so the truth is true regardless of whether we believe it or not. It's the one absolute truth that can be claimed without ultimately excluding anyone else's truth. I said in an earlier video that according to A Course in Miracles, there are only two emotions, and furthermore that only one of those is true. The emotions are love and fear, and the only one that's true is love. Fear is the absence or the denial of love, which the mind is capable of, but not of making it true apart from in one's subjective experience. One thing you'll likely agree to entirely is that emotions do seem to be contagious. When person A is caught up in big emotions, person B can also catch the emotion from them. It may look like a different emotion. For instance, person B might have said something that triggered anger in person A, and in response to person A's anger, person B feels guilty. If we go back to the premise that there's only two emotions, love and fear, then we have to conclude that one, neither of these look or feel anything like love, and therefore, two, they both must be flavors of fear. But only love is real, right? So how would a mind that believes only love is real deal with this seeming fear? By interpreting it as a call for love. If fear is the absence of love, then any behavior that appears as fear simply needs love to come pouring in to fill the empty space. Love, being the only one that's real, must also be the only one with any true causative effect. How can something that doesn't exist have any effect at all? A Course in Miracles makes it clear in its introduction that it's not trying to teach us the meaning of love, because that is beyond its scope. Words can't do love justice. But one aspect of love can be summed up as the simple awareness that we are all one. This is what ACIM describes as accepting the Atonement, or the At-One-Ment. All we need to strive for here in this world of seeming separation is that awareness. Nothing else is required of us. In my book, I describe the evidence that I've found from investigating various disciplines of thought like science, math, psychology, consciousness research, and philosophy to show that the one mind is as good as any truth. But none of it is incontrovertible proof, because the premise itself isn't provable to the eyes and ears. The eyes and ears, according to ACIM, are part of the body and were therefore designed by the ego to convince us of the opposite, namely, to convince us that separation is true. This is why, on the level of appearance, the statement that emotion is what binds us together can appear as a double-edged sword. It's both good news and bad news. The eyes and ears will never be satisfied with this woo-woo claim because the evidence can't be seen with the eyes or ears, or heard with the ears. But we can see, just by watching how the energy that is emotion seems to swirl around all of us, and sometimes picks one of us up more. It motivates us to move in one direction or another, and we can see how it can move through our social networks, getting more and more of us charged up in a panicked frenzy sometimes, and in blissful peacefulness at other times when love prevails. We can also see how a chain of fearful interactions can be broken up by one genuinely loving gesture, which A Course in Miracles refers to as a miracle. Training our minds to forego thoughts of grievance, judgment, guilt, blame, and unworthiness is the same as training our minds to be miracle ready, to be that one who puts the brakes on the progress of fear. It's what prepares us to reinterpret fear in all its flavors as calls for love, and meet someone with compassion and true empathy, rather than with defensiveness. Now, more than ever, these ideas need to gain some traction. We all know in our heart of hearts that fear and hatred cannot be beaten by more fear and hatred. We just know it doesn't work like that. It never has. Love and only love can prevail over fear, and we are all responsible for our part, which is learning how to keep our hearts open no matter what, and we are responsible for nothing else besides that. If you're finding these ideas helpful, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for joining me here today.